What's up, people? This Terminator Juice bringing you some thoughts, impressions, reactions to the big three's E3 conferences so far. We try to wrap them all into one, so I'm going to kind of go quick. And let's start with Microsoft. Metal Gear Solid 5, a surprise. Thought that was going to be a Sony exclusive, at least a time exclusive, and really showed that the next gen's a bigger leap in graphics than I thought it was going to be, especially the launch games that are, the first wave of games. Looks to be much more significant than like the Xbox 360 was jumping from the Xbox. I expected just some high-res versions of like the 360 engine and stuff. I didn't expect to see just realistic looking graphics that we saw, especially this early. So that got me excited, pumped right there. Thought, oh, I'm going to have to get a next gen system. My PC is pretty powerful, but what I've seen so far has just been console games, with the higher res versions on the PC. The next gen games with Metal Gear Solid 5 really impressed me. So that game looks sweet. Killer Instinct, what I said was my most anticipated game for Microsoft, looked like crap to me. Didn't look next gen. Looked like Street Fighter 4 graphics. Had nothing going for it, in my opinion. Nothing to make it stand out. Next up, and by the way, I'm not going to cover every single game. Just got a few highlighted. Rise. Started off pretty sweet. I love Roman themed movies and games. It looked like it was going to be like a God of War kind of game for Microsoft, and then the demo started, and then oops, camera pans off to the side so you can see something cool, and camera pans off to the other side. Looks like they're more worried about cinematics than gameplay, and then of course 2 sword swipes in and you got button time, quick time events, and I skipped ahead. I'm sorry, I don't do that shit. God of War does it enough. Too much in my personal opinion. I don't want to see a whole game combat system based off that. That's not gameplay. That's watching a movie and hitting some buttons in sequence. So as sweet as the graphics might look, Crytek, all they care about is graphics. They always put gameplay second, and this game's no different. I watched Adam Sessler's 10-minute discussion, and the guy tried to deny quick time events, but I'm sorry, I skipped over it. I'm not going to even consider that game now. Forza 5, I don't believe that was a live demo. The guy had a controller in his hand for 30 seconds. He might have possibly been controlling the car. Then all of a sudden, it's popping stuff on screen, and he's not in control anymore. I don't know what the hell. Why couldn't they just show a full lap of gameplay, different camera angles instead? They're talking about the Drivatar, where the cloud service stores like AI information of your, what you tend to do, your tendencies in racing, and you can kind of race against yourself, whatever. Not impressed. I don't care how good the graphics look. I'd rather play Mario Kart. Quantum Break looked like a CG pre-rendered cutscene. Interesting story element, but no gameplay, so who knows. I'm forgetting a bunch of stuff here, but I'm just going to jump up to Battlefield 4. And their audio issues. Crimson Dragon was right before that. I didn't rewatch to see what that looked like with sound. Dragons are interesting to me, so that game might be cool. But like I said, I didn't watch that reveal with sound, so I don't know what to say about that. But Battlefield 4 looked like Battlefield 3. Let's have a building collapse, and camera shakes, and the guy gets knocked down, and they get up, and they take out some enemies. I mean, it looked just like Battlefield 3 with some better graphics, and I'm sorry. I mean, that game's just boring to me. That was the worst campaign in the history of games that I've ever played was Battlefield 3. Worse than even Modern Warfare 3's campaign, and they just don't get it. They don't get what makes an interesting campaign. Black Ops 2 did a lot better job with their campaign. They mixed it up. They gave you some stealth missions and some cool stuff that you never seen before. Battlefield 4, just like Crytek, DICE is all about the graphics, and I'm sure multiplayer is going to be solid for those of you that like that game, but I'm sorry, I'm going to pass. And biggest thing, most impressive thing was Titanfall, the Respawn Entertainment first-person shooter with mechs and humans, and looked amazing. It was like the epitome of what you think of when you think next gen. Those are the guys from the former team from Infinity Ward, created their own studio. That game looks amazing. Fast-paced, the mech interactions just completely adds a new strategy element. It just looked freaking awesome. If that, I don't know if that's, I think I heard timed exclusive on Xbox One or on Xbox One first, possibly on PC as well. That's a game I would consider buying a system for, so that's something I'm looking out for a lot now that I've seen the reveal. I'm going to watch a lot more videos on that coming up here. Final thoughts. It was decent. A lot of pretty good, solid exclusive games. They didn't show us how Kinect interacts with any of the games, or how they showed a little bit of the replay DVR function built into the system. But why am I paying $100 extra for a system to have Kinect? You didn't show me why. You didn't show me what it's going to do to help me with gameplay or interact with games. The smart glass stuff, no, who cares? Tablet, I don't have a tablet, so all that stuff means nothing to me. I just want to see games, and I want to know why I'm paying $100 more to have Kinect for games. I don't have a cable box, so none of those other extra features, which they didn't show. One thing they did right was they showed games, but they didn't cover use game stuff. They didn't cover always online. They just didn't. They just ignored it. Act like treat us like we're idiots. Like we're not gonna realize that they're skating the issue. So that was my thoughts on Microsoft. Sony. I thought they had a slightly better conference, but they didn't have hardly any exclusive games. The Order 1886. Looks like it's early in development. CGI cutscene. That's from the company that made God of War, the Santa Monica Studios, and Rise Ready at Dawn or whatever. Then they showed like a montage, like a minute long, of Killzone, Infamous, Drive Club, and Knack. Just because we've seen them before doesn't mean we don't want to see more and hear more about the gameplay improvements and stuff like that. Don't just show us a montage. And out of the four, Infamous was the only one that impressed me. It looked pretty fucking awesome. I love the elemental effect, almost like a X-Men mutant effect from I think it was X-Men 2, and that looks sweet. It's coming out 2014, unfortunately. But yeah, they just kind of skipped over them just because we'd seen them before. Doesn't mean we didn't want to hear more about them. That's some of their big, only exclusive games right there, pretty much. I'm looking. Yeah, that's pretty much the only exclusive games, and they just skipped right over them. So that was disappointing. That tech demo for the Dark Sorcerer, if they said it's running in real time, but it's just like, so the graphics can do that in a perfect environment without artificial intelligence and all that. Wow, wasn't impressed. Didn't even care about that. They showed off a bunch of indie devs. They all came out on stage, and then the next day, like, Nintendo showed pretty much they had most of those same indie games. So yeah, it's cool, but I can get those on my Wii U. So, and then the big announcement for a lot of people was the Square Enix. I've never liked Square Enix games. I've never liked Final Fantasy, never played Kingdom Hearts. So the Final Fantasy 15 Kingdom Hearts 3 thing meant nothing to me. They're not exclusive, so whatever. The Assassin's Creed 4, while it looked visually stunning, I don't need an Assassin's Creed game every year. Ubisoft they like to support the Wii U, and they got a lot of great games, but I don't need an Assassin's Creed game every year, and especially when you're gonna have one and the demo locks up. And it was embarrassing. Who knows if it was even a demo or if it was just like a streaming video. It looked impressive when it was working. Since I skipped 3, maybe I'd get it on 4, but you know, just take your time, make a better game. I don't need those every year. Saw some more Watch Dogs. This was the least impressive demo of Watch Dogs I've seen so far. Really didn't highlight anything. Didn't show anything new. Driving a car looked like GTA. Made it more look like GTA than anything else. Didn't really stand apart. Still interested in the game, but they did nothing to help my interest in that. Then they just had a quick NBA 2K14 thing. Elder Scroll Online, don't care. It's not exclusive. And this is another thing. They have the exclusive early demo. They get the demo first. Just like with GTA 5, there's a slightly exclusive thing. And Batman, there's 2 exclusive costumes. So a lot of Sony was spouting the word exclusive, but it was just like minuscule things like forget what game. Might have been the Elder Scrolls game. I don't remember. You could have Nathan Drake's something or other. I mean, it was stupid. So they don't have any exclusive games. They don't have exclusive content other than minuscule things. They shouldn't even use the word exclusive. They should just admit, focused on the 4 exclusives they had that were all fairly interesting. Infamous, Killzone, Knack, Drive Club. They should have focused on the games they had exclusive instead of trying to use the word exclusive on minuscule things. The best part was when they stood up and just pretty much pissed all over Microsoft with the used games. You know, you can borrow them, you can sell them, you can rent them. There's no used game fee. There's nothing. And then they said your system don't have to be online, doesn't have to check in every 24 hours. But it was funny, and you know, I thought it was cool they did that. Who's going to play their next-gen system without an internet connection? I mean, seriously, I don't understand all these people mad about that. Turn off your internet and turn on your 360 or your Wii U or your PS3. I mean, all you can do is play the fucking games. There's nothing else. All the other features are gone. So I don't understand why people think it's a bad thing you got to have your system online. That's 80% of your features, and other than playing a game, comes through the internet. So even though it was funny, I'm not one of those people that was upset about the always online. And then they sneak in the PlayStation Plus required for multiplayer. They didn't even say it. They just put it on the screen at the very bottom, what you get with PlayStation Plus. And then he said, without PlayStation Plus, you can get every single-player experience in the game. And the one cool thing, though, is you don't have to have PlayStation Plus to watch Netflix and Hulu like Xbox Live Gold. You have to have that in order to watch Netflix. So it's like you don't need that for the PlayStation 4. They gave the price $399. I predicted 2 SKUs of a 400 and a 500 model. I was wrong. They didn't have the 2 SKUs. They only had the $400 one. They did not give the hard drive specs. I'm going to guess 250 gigs like I thought in my prediction video. But that price, very appealing. If they had, you know, they get all the multi-plats. If they had better exclusive, I would say possibly a launch purchase for me. But sadly, there's no. Infamous would be the only game I'd be interested in as an exclusive. And Xbox One, even though it's $100 more, has better exclusives, and something I got to think about. But No Last Guardian mentioned. If you're gonna have the balls to slap Microsoft across the face with talking about used games and stuff, then clear some unanswered questions of your, from that people have of Sony, and don't act like Microsoft with the sneaking in the PlayStation Plus multiplayer required, and not even mention Last Guardian. So, and I forgot to mention the Destiny demo. That's Bungie's big multi-plat game they've been working on for the last couple years, making a big deal about it. They showed it. It was the most visually impressive game as far as just art style mixed with graphical prowess. It had the best of both worlds. But honestly, halfway through, I started reading articles and I was bored. It doesn't look like very fun gameplay-wise, and not something that I'm really interested in at this point. Maybe they could show some more later in the future, could change my opinion. But yeah, as far as the hype for that game, everyone was pretty excited. The promises they were making didn't look like any of that was going to be delivered in this demo. So that's a wait and see. Not going to write it off, but definitely not what they were hyping. So overall, it was kind of boring at the beginning, slightly entertaining. Showed off, like I said, the next gen graphical leaps a lot further than I thought it was going to be, and I don't know. I was slightly lowered my not expectations, but my thoughts on the PS4. The Xbox One actually increased my my impressions of the system, and so now they're about even for me. So this video is 14 minutes right now. Maybe I'll split it in two. If not, I'm going to do my Nintendo one next as a Nintendo fan. Probably cover about the same amount of time just to talk about that. So that's my thoughts and impressions. So far, decent E3. Can't wait to see some of the showroom floor hands-on coverage from Rev3 Games, IGN, the Game Station, places like that. So, alright guys, I'll talk to you in the next video.